Welcome everybody to Rapture Watch for April the 14th, 2018. Watchman on the Wall, William from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And I hope all of you guys are having a blessed day in the Lord. And today we have lots of news coming out of Syria. And as soon as I uploaded my video yesterday, the announcement was made by President Donald Trump that they were joining forces with the UK and France to launch strikes on chemical facilities, and they left it at that. They did not bring up Israel, which I would assume would be part of this strike. So I believe that they're doing more covert stuff, but they are working with the Americans very closely on this, obviously because it is in their best interest to help the United States in whatever they can do. And we know that Israel is extremely good at intelligence gathering and understanding the layout of what's going on around there and where these facilities are. And Russia is going to be a problem. They have backed Assad to the point where I don't even think Assad is in charge. I believe that Russia is in charge there, and it's a big show that Assad is in charge, because like I said in one of the other videos, that Assad was pushed aside in his own country by Russian forces when Vladimir Putin was going on a tarmac to say that they're pulling out of Syria, and they're putting on a big show that, you know, they're pulling out and they did a good job and blah, blah, blah. And it was just for his election campaign. He is now in his final term of his presidency, and, you know, he wants to secure resources, and he understands that the economy is going to crash. And last night, Donald Trump put an announcement out there saying, you know, you have to back us because we're the largest economy and we have so much money. And we all know that that is not exactly true. I mean, it's a big bubble. It is the largest bubble ever, and it is going to burst. And we don't know if that's going to burst before we leave, or because of millions of Christians leaving and all their bank accounts being completely frozen. Nobody having access to those funds would cause the economic crash that we're all fully anticipating at this point. You know, we see other countries like Russia, when they had to rebuild, and, you know, they had their crash and they slowly built back up again, where every time the United States is at a crash, there's an injection of money and they just print more money, and the entire world is running off of oil, which can only be bought in the greenback USD. So we know as soon as oil can be purchased in another currency, that is the end for the United States economy. And we all understand that, who have been paying attention to this kind of thing for a while. But for the UK to be backing the United States in this, it's showing the battle lines are being drawn for another third world war, and for a third world war, another world war. And Jesus said that, when this will all happen, don't be deceived. There'll be wars and rumors of wars. Well, we've been having wars for the last 100 years, but the key thing with this particular war is Israel is a nation again. Israel is flourishing again. Israel is the heart of everything. And whether they want to say it's because of this or that, we understand its strategic placement of forces around Israel, and we understand that this is what it's all about. And Russia wants the natural gas that Israel has found and is now selling to the United Kingdom, to these places for very cheap, and that's hurting his economy. It's just the way it is. And so Russia, I believe, and I think Putin, because he's in his last term, at this point has no choice in his mind but to take the gas from Israel. And in order to do that, he has to have a strategic foothold. And that's Syria. That's the northern border. Gog and Magog. It's happening. And it's sad to see, these visuals of missiles and not knowing if there's children around. But that's why I believe that they made their strikes at night when kids would be home. I believe that they put these chemical warheads underneath schools, and they do that for a reason. The only time then they can attack would be at night to destroy these places. But I know that this is the start of an even bigger event that is going to be a worldwide event, as we all know. So the question is, do we fly before, or do we fly after the bombs drop? And there's been so many people who have dreams of soldiers, Korean soldiers hitting the shores and bombs falling, and we've had these dreams for a long, long time. But I'll tell you one dream that I had, and I shared this before, when I was going to Buckingham Palace. Now, I've never had a dream about the United Kingdom, about London, about anything of that nature, that area. And I was at Buckingham Palace, and I remember seeing a Navy fleet, and around the main guy's neck, it said married. There was this chain thing around his neck. Like, there was nothing he could do, and he looked really choked, really pissed off. And they look like U.S. Marines. And the symbology of the U.S. being locked down with the United Kingdom, and whatever happens, they're in it fully. And so recently there's been that chemical attack in the UK where Russia is the main suspect. Now these chemical weapons in Syria, I believe they are going to attach that to the Russians and blame the Russians. If not, blame them outright, that they're blaming them behind the scenes. And this is going to escalate between Russia and the United States. It's just, the way it is. And I believe that the only way that they can truly, hit the States without them knowing is coming through the North. And, America has a lot of submarines. America has a lot of warships, but they don't have a lot of icebreakers. And they're going to need Canada, their icebreakers up in the north to do anything. So, it's coming down to that where, if they're going to, I don't see Justin Trudeau as a military expert. And I just pray that we have some military advice from the United States, and we can work together to protect the North and our border up there, because I see that's the only real target is where there's ice. They have a lot of icebreakers, the Russians, and and I remember one time I was at the Calgary Stampede. It's an annual event here. There's a rodeo, and they have a whole bunch of displays. And there was a couple tanks and army guys, giving out pamphlets to join the army and stuff. And I was about 20, and I was being cheeky, and I said, we're just peacekeeping wussies, I don't think, like, our army is nothing, right? I said to the guy. And the guy was pretty blunt. He said, yeah, we're not very... if we want, like, we're not good at taking or going forth to capture a country, but we can defend our own. And that's what we're best at, is defending our own. And we have troops that can defend our country from all sides. So, that's the one thing that I believe the Americans lack is winter combat training and being able to handle themselves in the Arctic climate. But us Canadians, we know that, and we have trained for that. So we are going to be the first line of defense in the North if anything goes down that way. But ultimately, it's not in man's hands, it's in God's hands. And that's where we put our trust. We put all of our trust in the Lord. And whatever happens, it's the way that He has set it up, and His will be done on earth as in heaven. So we know that this is foretold. Isaiah 17 is happening, I believe, right now, and Damascus will be completely decimated, and not just in ruins, but uninhabitable. It will be completely destroyed. And like I said, I don't know whether we go before or after that happens. There is no specific event that has to happen before we leave. I believe that we're not looking for the Antichrist. We're looking for Jesus Christ and His appearing. And it's mentioned so many times in the Bible that at His glorious appearing, that's when we rejoice. We're not told to look for the Antichrist or prep. We're told the opposite. We are to just worry about today and not about tomorrow. So, don't be troubled about these events. Don't freak out about it, because the Lord has everything under control. And we just worry about today and doing the best we can by evangelizing, sharing the word, and just showing people, if you don't believe, look at what's happening right now and how it's foretold in the scriptures. Isaiah 17, show it to them. And, do all you can, and that's all we can do, and it's really not completely, totally on us to know all of it. The Lord has everything under control. We just have to worry about today and doing the best we can, and just praying for the people who are in that area, praying for the saints. I know that so many of us are going through trials and tribulations right now, and we have to pray for one another. And I just want to say thank you for your prayers and everything you guys have done, and I'm praying for you. So let's just keep looking up, because Jesus said, when we begin to see these things come to pass, look up, because your redemption draweth nigh. And I believe it is starting right now. So that's going to do it for today's message. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if I don't see you in the clouds tonight, I'll have another message for you very soon. Peace be with you.